Hello and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Racing Stacks TBR. Now, for April I will be taking part in both Aurelium and All the World's a Page, but because I'm hoping to vlog Aurelium and then do a specific All the World's a Page video, I thought I would do All the World's a Page with Racing Stacks and Aurelium separately. So this video obviously will go out first and Aurelium will go out afterwards, but the books do not cross over except for one, and I will explain the where and the why when I get to it. But essentially what I did was I had a list of books that I wanted to read for All the World's a Page. I will be doing the tragedy prompts because that is the team that my friend Olivia, who is running the readathon, along with Juliet from Shakespeare and Such and Cara from, I can't remember her channel name, I'm so sorry, but I will put it down below. And Olivia I wanted to support, so I'm doing Olivia's prompts. Plus, let's be honest, we all knew I would go for tragedy anyway. We love the sad vibes. I was going to be in that team regardless. I thought I would work out what books I wanted to read. Then I would do Racing Stacks, and then I would try and see if I could overlap them in some way. Then my camera died, so I have recorded Racing Stacks separately for you, and then I will kind of tell you the books after you've seen that clip. So I'm going to cut to that clip first so you can see me playing, and then I will run through all the books. Okay, we only have a few seconds before my camera dies, so let's get this. Okay. I'm not saying anything, I'm too busy concentrating. Okay, okay, so we've got a couple of mysteries, horrors. Ooh, gothic fiction haiku. Historical fiction mum picks. That's not bad, actually. Like, I think this is one of the first times I'm actually really tempted to just go for my first go. Intimidating non-fiction read might be my tricky one. Adventure mood read and literary feed scroll. I think there's a lot on here that can challenge me, and so I'm gonna go for it. Okay, so I did say that there would be one book from Racing Stacks / books that I had to read moved over to Aurelium. One of the other reasons that I'm doing it separately is because I'm doing it to a slightly different time scale. I will explain that in the next video. But as you know, every month I have book clubs and read-alongs that I do, so we will start with those and then I'll get on to the reading stacks. So the first one is my Luna Book Club book, which is hosted on my Discord, so the links to that is down below. But basically through my bookshop I'm able to send out books at a discounted cost. My Discord people have already chosen the genre. This month it was Victorian Gothic. This is a Victorian Gothic retelling, and that is all they know about it at time of recording, so I am not going to spoil for you what the book is, but every time I try and get a wrapping paper that kind of goes with the vibe, I couldn't find a vibe matching wrapping paper, so I just used the leopard wrapping paper that I already had. So apologies to Luna Book Club people. I'm sure we're going to really enjoy this book, but the wrapping paper does not vibe. But this I will also be reading for Aurelium, so you will see more about that one in that video. Next is obviously the Dead Famous read-along. Now this is the same book that I held up last month, because last month I got COVID, and for about 2.5 weeks I was either very, very unwell or trying to catch up on actual work, and didn't have time to read this, and we certainly didn't have time to have the live stream, and I always like to have the live stream before I start the next book so I don't get the books mixed up in my mind for the live stream. So the live stream for Seasons of War is going to be this Saturday, and then we will do the live stream for Dead or Alive in May, and then because the last book Until the End comes out in April, we will do we've got the rest of April and all of May to read it, although I'm absolutely convinced that all of my co-hosts will finish it much quicker than me, if only because I feel a desperate need to hold on to this series, because I don't know what I'm going to do with my time after that. So if you've got any suggestions for other read-alongs you would like to see from me, let me know down below. because I think I'm going to be a little bit lost. Obviously there is also Lamentable Library, which I forgot to mention last month, but it's fine because I haven't got to that book yet either. Like I said, I was really ill and then really busy, and it's just been a lot. But anyway, this month we will be reading These Violent Delights, but it's not the Chloe Gong one, it's the Dark Academia one, whose author's name has escaped me. But this looks to be like a really sinister, thrillery type gothic, completely the opposite of the previous gothics that we've read thus far this year, so I'm really excited for that. Last one that has nothing to do with racing stacks is Gallant. Do you remember when I said I was done with V. Schwab? Do you remember that? Do you remember when I was like, I've done it now, I don't need to read any more. I tried Addie LaRue, I tried her Cassidy Blake series, I started Near Witch and then stopped. I didn't even get to the Colour of Magic trilogy or Vicious, which I know everyone tells me I will love because it's nothing like the others. Regardless, wasn't interested in it. My Illumicrate has been delivered to my parents' house and apparently it's Gallant. So I have it now. This is Lizzie's copy, I'm showing you just for the video. Friend Ali, who we haven't done a buddy read in ages, suggested that we do Gallant. So I'm reading Gallant this month. Can't wait. So excited. It's going to be great. So now that's over and done with, I can finally get on to the actual Racing Stacks prompts and the books that I picked for them. And then if they carry over onto All the World's a Page, I will let you know. So these will not be in the same order as you would have seen them in the in the prompt board, because I can't remember which order they were in. So I'm just going to do them in the order that they are in front of me. And just do that. So the first one I have in front of me was Horror and Cat Pick. So this is Ecstasia by Claire Legrand. I loved Saw Kill Girls and I really want to do the Furyborn trilogy as well, seeing as I have them in hardback, but this is going to be wild. And Ali has already read it and told me that I'm either going to really like it or really hate it. There will be no in between. I'm convinced I'm going to really enjoy it because I know Saw Kill Girls wasn't massively popular, but I really, really enjoyed the whole YA horror thing. I don't know if this is YA or adult. I think it's still YA, but it just has such a vibe and I'm so excited. And I know it's so simple, but I like how sinister this whole thing is. So I'm very, very excited for this one. Did I put it slightly further forward so the cats would see it first? Of course, because I cheat, but I cheat within the rules. If that's, I don't know if that's a thing. Next was Literary Feed Scroll, Twitter. And I'll be honest, I spent about an hour and a half scrolling through Twitter trying to find a literary book that I already owned in an attempt not to spend money, and then realised that I was just responding to other publishing related tweets and not actually looking for a literary book anymore. So then I decided I would go to Instagram because I was convinced that the first thing I saw would be the first post with a literary book in it, and I was right. So I will be reading Cleopatra and Frankenstein. This is about a couple who kind of fall into this whirlwind romance, and then it's kind of like about their life after that. So I'm also reading it for the Titus prompt for All the World's a Page, which is family as a theme. I don't think this is going to be a happy ending one, and I've not actually seen many people talk about their thoughts on the book itself. I just know that lots of people really like this cover design and therefore it has been all over Instagram, but it's kind of out of my comfort zone. I probably wouldn't have picked this if it weren't for the title. There is just something about the Cleopatra and Frankenstein vibe. I'm just intrigued by it. I am intrigued by it, but like cover-wise, it's not. I don't know. Anyway, so it's a whole thing. So that's that one. Next is Horror with an Orange Cover, and I will be doing The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I did The Turn of the Screw last year, and I'm starting to think that maybe every 6 months I should do a classic gothic, either reread or read for the first time. I've never read The Haunting of Hill House. It was not one of the ones that I had to study, unlike Turn of the Screw, and then it was kind of like a reread, and even then we only read like snippets of it, so that was like a full new to me classic gothic. But I'm really intrigued by this, and then obviously I will probably finally watch the TV series that was based on it that is on Netflix, because I haven't yet, and I actively haven't because I haven't read the book and I didn't want it to be spoiled. I prefer reading a book and having the TV series or film spoiled than the other way around. So very orange. This is Lizzie's copy, but she's letting me borrow it for the month, so thank you, Lizzie. Next is an adventure slash mood read, and then for All the World's a Page, it was King Lear, an audiobook. I will be doing Interesting Times by Terry Pratchett. This is 5, I think, in the Rincewind series. It's either 5 or 6. It's the next in the series that I need to get to, and I'm just in the mood for something silly. With so many dark, and you'll see there are even more gothic books on this TBR, with such a dark TBR for April, I just thought this would be some nice light levity. I'm going to Disneyland, and this just feels like a whole vibe to read in Disneyland. Do you know what I mean? But also I'll be doing it as an audiobook to just chill out. Because yeah, I love hearing the Terry Pratchett ones, and I think the Tony Robbins, who does the voiceover or does the narration for it, is just great. He just absolutely encapsulates those stories so well. So really excited for that one. Next was a non-fiction intimidating read. I don't know why I just scrimped that while speaking. Next was non-fiction and intimidating reads. So I have gone for Subscribed by Tien Zhao. Why the subscription model will be your company's future and what to do about it. Now, if you know about my company, you will know that I have a bookshop which I actively sell books that I would happily recommend, and I also have subscription boxes. Most of the people that buy those subscription boxes are either people who have engaged with my content or have engaged with me and know me. But I know that they could be so much bigger. I know that subscription boxes are really, really popular, but this is a tailor and bespoke box specifically for you. So it's to talk to you about books, find out what books you enjoy, and then recommend you books. So I found a couple of business books related to that to help grow my business this year. So now that I'm not moving and I don't need to worry about anything else, I can focus on my business, and this is that first step. And that is why it's so intimidating. Not because it's a massive book or that I think it's going to be super scary, but just because it's that extra step ahead in building my business, and that is always terrifying, because when you're building your own business, one of two things can happen. It could work and it could improve your business, or it could fuck it up. So it's intimidating, it's scary. So I need to read it because I need to learn, I need to improve, but scary. Next, we got a haiku, because of course we did, but actually I'm not mad about it this time. I will go through my haiku, which is plain bad heroines, is how I do it. So heroines, plain bad heroines, flowers in the attic, and velvet was the night. Those are the 3 gothic books that I plan on getting through. She's chunky, and the paperback has come out of this now, which weirdly is as intimidating as the hardback is, which I would not have expected. But for All the World's a Page, the Hamlet prompt is a long read, which I think we can all agree, she's chunky. I have started it because I did start it a while ago, but considering I'm less than 100 pages in, yeah, I'm 80 pages in, not counting it, starting from scratch, that's fine. So that's for that one, the long read. And then for Anthony and Cleopatra, a writing style that you really like, I'm putting in Velvet Was the Night. I am so close to finishing The Beautiful Ones by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, and I love it. And I was so nervous that I loved Mexican Gothic and I loved the idea of The Beautiful Ones, but I would actually hate it in concept. And this one is like 70s vibe. I don't know if that's going to be my thing, but now that I've read 2, I feel, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. There we go. Now that I've read The Beautiful Ones, I'm a lot more confident that it doesn't matter. I'm going to like the story because I like her writing style and I like the way she crafts the story. She knows what she's doing, and I've got absolute faith. So that one. All those 3. Next was historical mum picks, and my mother is not here. So I couldn't ask her, and I needed to remove that from the thing, and I forgot. So I've gone with one that my mum bought for me, which is Pirates by Celia Reese. She introduced me to Celia Reese when she bought me The Witch Child, and then when we were at charity shopping and I left my purse at home, she purchased this for me, so it's $2.99, it wasn't that big a deal, and that's why she didn't mind. But I thought it couldn't quite be a mum pick because mum's not here, but mum purchased might work just as well. So Pirates, this is a historical fiction about a young girl who decides she wants to be a pirate. And it has, I'm hoping it has Pirates of the Caribbean vibes, but probably more mellow because the writing style of Celia Reese is quite slow and drawn out, so we shall see. We had Contemporary Authors Blacklist, and for Othello, Black Author. You can't have every bit of paper. Every post-it note is not for you. He's not for you. She's like, yes it is. I'll be doing The Emperor's Babe by Bernardine Evaristo. This is a novel in verse about an 18-year-old and basically forced to become a teenage bride to a very powerful man. And it's a story about her and her sassiness. And I'm really excited because when Bernardine Evaristo came to my uni and spoke about this, this was the book that she seemed most excited about. So I'm also very excited for it. Can you leave it alone? These are not for you! Next we had Mystery Found Family, and all the while to page there was a problem prompt, which was basically the opposite of all the other prompts. And for this one we had happy ending, so I've gone with A Study in Charlotte. I don't know for sure this has a happy ending, but just because it's a Sherlock mystery, I think because it's a modernised one, and I think it's going to lean into like a romance or certainly a friendship between Jamie Watson and Sherlock Holmes, so I think there'll be a happy ending to this one, and I'm pretty sure that they will be a found family in some way. If not platonically, then certainly relationshipy, you know what I'm saying. And then the last racing stack prompt was a mystery audiobook, and then for All the World's a Page I've gone for, it's for Romeo and Juliet, a hyped book. I'm going to read Truly Devious, so I will read this alongside the audiobook, which is on Scribd. I don't know anything about this other than that it is a mystery and that everyone seems to love it. I have actively not picked up Maureen Johnson because I read, it was something, there was a title that she had that had something a star, like the name of the star or something like that, and I was really excited for it because it basically promised to be a Jack the Ripper returns to London retelling type thing, and then there was this like supernatural element that was in none of the like synopsis or anything like that, and then the plot twist was in like the last chapter, and it just felt really rushed and just a bit shit. So I've actively not picked up Maureen Johnson since because I just didn't like the way it was done, and I didn't want to just have to like. The thing is, I will actively not read authors, right? Because they're just, I know their stuff isn't going to be for me. Or I've read stuff of theirs and it just wasn't for me. And then I don't want to read any more. Because there's no point reading books, A, that I know I'm not going to enjoy, and B, just to shit on authors when they've worked really hard on it. I'm sure Maureen Johnson worked really hard on this. Doesn't mean I have to like it. And I always feel really guilty if I put a book in that I'm like, I feel like I'm not going to like this, but that's exactly what this is. And then the last 3 prompts for All the World's a Page was Macbeth, a short book, so I will be reading Angel Volume 1, which was gifted to me by Olivia, so I thought I'd have to get like a book. Like, we gift each other books all the time and we swap books all the time. I had to fit something that Olivia had given me into this TBR. Somewhere, this is where this is. We also have Julius Caesar, It's Going to Hit You in the Fields. I will be reading They Are Trying to Break Your Heart by David Saville. David Saville was a lecturer of mine and I read this a while ago, but I'm doing a reread of books my lecturers have written for content, so I thought what a great excuse to add it back into my TBR. And then Coriolanus, a book that is recommended to you, Hatmakers. Lizzie bangs on about Hatmakers all the time. All the time. And even though I know it's going to be good, I'm counting it as recommended to me because of just how much she talks about it. And seeing as in her TBR there is a book that I have recommended to her, I thought fair turnabout I would put in a book that she has recommended to me, and I've added this to the list. So there it is. There's my TBR. It's not all of it. I can't pick up all of it, but it's a large majority of my TBR. Let me know down in the comments below which one of these you think I should prioritise, which one I should read first, and let me know what chunky books you've got in your TBR. Let me know if you're doing All the World's a Page, or Aurelium, or anything. What are you doing in April? What are your plans? And other than that, have a nice day.